First up, I put the host OS in the hardware because really it's the platform that you're putting it on. OS 10, many of us have looking around the room, we are by and large, our operating system of choice is going to be OS 10. It's easy to use, easy to administer. However, there are significant problems in terms of the I/O from a networking perspective. If you were to actually get the same process being executed on OS 10 versus on, say for instance, CentOS or even Windows, you are actually going to see a huge performance problem. I personally advocate now using MySQL if you are at all performance oriented. Use CentOS, use Ubuntu, there are options out there. I would not put a high performance MySQL server onto OS 10. In saying that, I have MySQL servers running on OS 10, but I'm not so concerned about performance with those. Windows is also easy. Yes?
Did Snow Leopard improve that situation?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I have not had experience with 10.6 server. Okay. Server versus the client systems are actually different. A lot of people think that they're actually pretty much the same, they just have a few administration extras. Actually, there's a lot of stuff under the hood in the server version of OS 10 that is significantly different to the client version. In my experience, it makes a big difference, but not enough of a difference. So if you really want performance, I personally advocate going down towards Linux. The administration tools are significantly easier than they were.
If you do have Intel Xserves that you're running MySQL on right now, I've converted a number of people over to running Ubuntu on those boxes and just install straight out of the box and get about a 10 times speed improvement for MySQL.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the difference between OS 10 on good hardware versus Linux on good hardware is huge. And the funny thing is, you can actually put Linux onto older Mac hardware, and it will actually often run faster than you could actually imagine. Linux is very skinny, especially if you use something like Ubuntu, which is very, very, very trimmed down in server version. Sorry, there's two questions over here.
There's a tiny thing you can add skip thread priority to your my.com file.
Yes.
And that helps on OS 10. I mean, substantially, but it still doesn't get it close to Linux.
Correct, absolutely, yeah.
What is the connection, physical connection, that we must use between two servers, for example, OS 10 with Lasso and Linux with the minimum physical connection to not get any lag? You see, gigabyte Ethernet or what?
I would suggest using gigabit Ethernet as a minimum. Yeah. There are other options as well in terms of fibre and so forth. Various fibre options. But as a minimum, use gigabit Ethernet. I'll cover that a little bit later on as well. So I'll just move on a little bit. Okay. One of the fantastic options for data centers is, of course, virtual machines. And I got introduced to virtual machines recently, and I absolutely love them. They are fantastic for data centers. However, they also have potentially higher latency in terms of their runtime environments. However, once again, on the positive side, lower total cost of ownership, much quicker return on investment, and of course for your clients, you can throw those things at them and they're going to love you, right? Once again, if you go back onto the flip side, host only. Now, by me saying host only, I mean if you have dedicated hardware, so you have one particular operating system. I mean, the OS 10 comes out of the box, of course, is the classic case of that. It's a host only machine. So, host only, you basically get the problem of more space and more power consumption in data centers. You've got to actually balance the performance, the speed, versus that you can get out of the host only versus more space and more power data centers. Lower latency is much faster because it's not having to do a lot more extra communication. There's not having to be an underlying host operating system that actually does the balancing of the resource requirements. Higher total cost of ownership and much longer return on investment. However, if money's not an object, then those two aren't necessarily going to be a problem. In conclusion, host only is going to be faster for high load environments. So if you're really after some significant performance improvement, then you need to actually make sure that you are using a host only environment. Okay. Disk choices. Most systems, as they come out of the box these days, they have your options for whether or not you're going to use a single large disk, or whether or not you're actually going to mirror for redundancy, and an array for performance. Most servers, when you buy them, you actually have the ability to choose. Now, if you're talking about wanting to go down the performance path, once again, you must choose fast disks. Don't go really massive disks. Go for smaller disks that are faster. Databases on the whole don't take up a huge amount of space. However, what you want to do is you want to get to that data fast. So go for 10,000, 15,000 RPM drives. Don't go for terabyte drives where a much faster set of 500 gig drives might be more appropriate. If you wished, you can investigate things like going SCSI. The lines are being blurred now as to which is actually better between the newer SATA versus the still, in theory, superior SCSI. SCSI is more expensive than SATA even now. Any questions on those? I see a couple of heads nodding. Okay. Once again, there's no substitute for horsepower. Processor speed and RAM. If you're specifying a new server, go for the fastest you possibly can. Increase the number of cores that you have available and throw some RAM at it. Especially if you're going to have large databases or a lot of databases. Give yourself headroom. Right, networking. Many people that I have seen have actually been putting their database servers on the same public network as their application servers. Huge risk, absolutely huge risk. It's much easier to get at a database if you can find that database server on a network. From a hackability perspective, it's really dangerous. So you've got to put it behind a firewall. You've got to abstract it out to having its own network. It means that often you're going to have two network cards in your application server. That is not a bad thing because it means that you can have everything else completely hidden away. You can still get to it via a special gateway that you might wish to construct, but primarily, keep it behind a firewall, keep it on its own network, have its own nice fast switch, preferably gigabit. It's really all about latency and about the speed at which you can actually get to that data. All right. Any questions? Dominic, does that address your question?
Yes, about the gigabytes.
Yeah.
No, well, that means normal Ethernet like 100 megabytes will induce latency.
If you've got a good switch, it's not going to be a major problem. It's really just about the fact that the gigabit switches these days tend to be newer hardware. They tend to have faster processors inside them themselves, and so they've actually been geared towards higher throughput to start with.